In a series of videos, I've taken you to the winter wonderland that is Hokkaido and shown you what is there to see and explore. Now it's time to talk about travel tips and hacks that will help make sure your trip is not only unforgettable but also smooth and hassle-free. From the best time to visit to navigating the snowy streets, I've got you covered with a device that will help turn you into a savvy Hokkaido explorer in no time. My name is Mizhelle, you're watching Tokyo Pass 3, and these are the winter and Hokkaido travel tips that you need to know. Tip number 1, the best time to go depends on what you want to do. Snow in Hokkaido typically falls from December to February. December is a great time to go if you want to experience the early snowfall and just beat the crowds. But if you're after the full winter experience, January, particularly the latter half, is your month. The snow is usually thick and fluffy and perfect for skiing or snowboarding or practically just lying around if you want to make snow angels and stuff. This continues until February, where not only can you enjoy powder snow, but also winter festivals like the wildly popular Sapporo Snow Festival. In some areas, snow can be observed up to March, April, or even May, but the amount of snowfall can be hard to predict. On the other hand, flights and accommodation may cost slower because it's the tail end of the season. So when should you pack your bags? If you're after the best snow for skiing, then January to February would be your best bet. If you're after winter festivals, many of them take place in February. Additional tip if you're planning to see the Sapporo Snow Festival. If you go on the last day, at the very end, they take down the snow sculptures and ice sculptures, and it's practically an event of its own. And had I known this before I went on my trip, I would have adjusted my days just to see this. Lastly, if you want to see drift ice, go in mid-February to early March. Just as a side note, global warming has largely affected snow conditions in recent years, so the dates that I've told you are just estimates. And if you want to be more exact and keep up to date with snow conditions, then your best bet would be to go on Google Maps and check the photo reviews, the latest ones, of the location you want to visit. You can also go on Instagram and TikTok, just make sure that the photos and videos are from this year. Tip number 2, dress for the Hokkaido chill. If you want to be outside as much as possible during your winter in Hokkaido trip, then bright clothing is key. The average temperature in Hokkaido is around -4 degrees Celsius or 25 degrees Fahrenheit, but in some areas it drops to -30 degrees Celsius or -22 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's break down the winter wardrobe essentials for your Hokkaido adventure. Any winter survival guide that you see would probably tell you to dress in layers. Start with a thermal inner layer, and in my case, I went with Uniqlo's Ultra Warm Heat Tech. These are thicker than your average heat tech, and they come as long-sleeved undershirts and leggings. For the middle layer, you can add more insulation, and some days I wore a fleece jacket from Montbell, which is mostly for hiking, and on some days I just wore a regular sweater. For the outer layer, a waterproof and windproof jacket or coat would be your best bet. Many people go for down coats, but a thick winter coat would also do the job. I find that many people also tend to focus on their upper body and completely forget their lower half. But in my case, I come from a tropical country, so I get cold easily, so I wore heat tech pants on top of my heat tech leggings. I don't know, some people may think it might be overkill, but not for me. Also, don't forget your extremities. A good pair of waterproof gloves or mittens, and a warm hat that covers your ears, and thermal socks are essential. Cold hands and feet can really put a damper on your day, and we don't want that, do we? As for shoes, I highly recommend snow boots. The best ones are insulated, waterproof, and anti-slip. At the very least, don't wear shoes that have smooth soles because that's a guaranteed way to slip on icy grounds. The one thing that I didn't use was a scarf because I find that it gets in the way of shooting, and the layers that I had on were enough to keep my neck area warm. But I know scarves can be cute and fashionable, and if that's your thing, go for it. Remember, the key to enjoying Hokkaido's winter is staying warm and dry. Dress smart and you'll be all set to make the most out of a snowy paradise. Tip number 3, know your options for getting around. Hokkaido is Japan's biggest prefecture, and getting from one area to another can take hours. The good news is, public transportation is pretty reliable. If you will be doing extensive travel around Hokkaido, then look into the JR passes available for the region. Of course, the regular JR pass works just fine, but that's for doing extensive travel around the country. You might save more with regional passes, which include Sapporo Noboribetsu Area Pass, Sapporo Furano Area Pass, and the Hokkaido Rail Pass. Now, if you're mostly staying in one area and doing a day trip or two to surrounding areas, then you can do away with the passes. In my case, I used Sapporo as base and then went to Monbetsu and Otaru using public transportation and bus tours. Of course, you always have the option to rent a car. Just remember that if you're a tourist on a short stay, then you need to get an international driver's permit from your country of residence. You won't be able to rent a car with just your driver's license. It has to be an IDP. Lastly, you can always opt for bus tours to help you get around. There are plenty that depart from Sapporo and go to major attractions like Yasaikawa Zoo, the Garinko Drift Ice Cruise, the Blue Pond NBA, and more. I've linked the JR passes and my recommended bus tours down below. They are affiliate links which you can use to help support the channel. They won't cost you extra, but I get a commission for every confirmed booking that you make. Tip number 4, always carry cash. This is something that rings true for travel in Japan in general. Many of the major cities and tourist spots are card-friendly, but if you want to enter a festival, for example, the admission fee will be required in cash, and the stalls and shops in there will also require the same. ATMs are widely available, especially in convenience stores like 7-Eleven and Seicomart, and they're usually English-friendly too. But here's a pro tip. Withdraw enough cash before venturing into remote areas, because in those areas, ATMs just might be rare. Tip number 5, respect the wildlife. As you wander through Hokkaido's enchanting winter landscape, you might get lucky and spot some of the incredible wildlife. From majestic cranes to adorable red foxes, these creatures add magic to the already stunning scenery. But here's an important reminder. Let's love them from a distance. Feeding the wildlife, as tempting as it might be, is a big no-no. It's not just about following the rules, it's about keeping these beautiful creatures wild and safe. Feeding them can disrupt their natural diet and behavior, and honestly, nobody wants a bunch of dependent, human food-loving foxes or deer, right? If you want to see animals up close, there are facilities in Hokkaido that allow you to get closer to domesticated wild animals. For example, there's the Tokkari Center for seals, the Kitakitsune Farm for wild foxes, and the Bear Park in Noboribetsu for brown bears. If you see an animal in the wild, however, always keep your distance. They might look cute and cuddly, but at the end of the day, they're still wild, so keeping a safe distance ensures both your safety and theirs. Plus, it's so much more rewarding to see them in their natural habitat, undisturbed by our presence, don't you think? And those are my 5 must-know tips and hacks for winter travel in Hokkaido. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. If you're keen on sharing your own tips for winter travel in Hokkaido, do share them as well, and I believe the whole community would benefit from it. Lastly, if you're still in the planning stage and have no idea about where to start with what to see and do in Hokkaido, watch the best things to do in Hokkaido in winter video and you'd be off to a good start. There's also a whole playlist about winter travel in Hokkaido, so you'll get many ideas from there. This has been Mizhelle for Tokyo Pass Free. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!